Some breaking news this morning. Two teenagers shot and killed overnight this morning. No suspect has been arrested. Police haven't released a motive, and now neighbors are looking for answers.
Atlanta News First Don Shipman is live with the First Alert breaking news tracker outside South Fulton Police Headquarters. Don, what can you tell us?
Well, we know that the killer is still out there, and police have been actively investigating overnight. The mayor of South Fulton out with a statement overnight. This right here, what it looked like at the height of the investigation. You can see police on the scene right there, all of those investigators on the scene. This happening around 8:30 last night outside a home in the 4200 block of Fortune Point, right in the heart of this residential subdivision. Police cordoned off that area for several hours last night and into the overnight hours as investigators worked the scene. Now, both teens were rushed to a nearby hospital with critical gunshot wounds and later died. Detectives focusing a lot of their investigation on a white car you see in the video here, though police have not yet confirmed exactly how it factors into the shooting. Now, this morning, the victims have not been publicly identified, and police have not said what led up to the gunfire, a motive, for example. South Fulton's mayor says that her heart goes out to the families of both victims. The mayor says that she is in direct contact with police commanders and the director of public safety and is closely monitoring the investigation. Again, two teenagers are dead. Their killer has not been found. We're working to get a description of the suspect so we can get that out to the public, and once we hear back from authorities, we'll pass that information along to you. For now, though, we're live in South Fulton. Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.